My name is Claire Moynihan and I'm going to be talking about my experience on the Environmental Society's recent trip to Portugal for the Together for Sustainable Development Goals project. The 6 days I spent representing my school during the Erasmus Plus Together for Sustainable Development Goals project were filled with many learning moments so immeasurable in value. On Sunday, we set off. I learned to trust myself while travelling without my parents, and this gave me a great deal of confidence starting off the trip. As we took off, I reflected on the journey to the airport and knew that this trip would be very enjoyable. So all I could do from then on was look forward to what was in store for the rest of the week. We touched down in Lisbon Airport and got out in record time. All that was left to do then was check into our hostel, and when we had done that, we slept. It was well needed. The town of Forte Casa just outside of Lisbon was where we were based, and our host school, Agrupamento de Escolas de Forte Casa, was a short walk away. After tackling our first hill of the trip, we made it to the school for a day of presentations and a beautiful introduction to the local culture. A moment that really stood out to me was the fado song, Chuva, that was sung. This was also a great opportunity to get to know all the other students from around the world participating in this project. Talking to people your age with such vastly different life experiences while also connecting through shared passion for environmental issues was a great non-formal learning experience for me. The countries in attendance were Turkey, Norway, Slovenia, France, Portugal, and of course Ireland. I was very interested in the ways our lives are similar, yet so different, through factors such as cultural norms and language. Tuesday and Wednesday were my real introduction to Portugal. We had visited places like Sintra Village, Palas de Montserrat, Cascais, the breathtaking coast of Estoril, Cabo de Roca, the westernmost point of Europe, and of course Lisbon itself. First Lisbon visit, I saw many art pieces using recycled materials such as plastic, and this really showed a great care for the environment. Also got the privilege to experience Lisbon atop the Arc of Triumph and snap a few pictures while up there of the wild sprawling hills coexisting with an equally beautiful town architecturally. Something else that stuck out to me was bacalhau, which is dried cod. I have found this to be integral in Portuguese culture, as so many fishermen and families in general built their entire livelihoods upon this almost sacred dish to the people of Portugal. For dried cod eventually sent people out of Portugal to fish for more, and we actually visited a bacalhau museum about this. On Thursday, we attended talks by people involved with the local community, visited a line from the Napoleonic Wars, followed by a nature walk along the Tagus River. Our nature walk led us to a place called Pavoa, which was originally a sort of shanty town for fishermen coming down from the north to start new lives. We went to a museum accompanied by a guide telling the history of Pavoa. The Friday started off with heading to the school one last time to watch the final presentation and present our project. In hindsight, I can say with confidence that I am happy with the outcomes of the presentation, and I can say that we were all very proud to show off all the great work we've been doing. After lunch and some goodbyes, we set off into Lisbon, or rather Belém. The Jerónimos Cathedral and Monastery were absolutely breathtaking, with many Portuguese historical figures laid to rest there, including Vasco da Gama and Fernando Pessoa. We then went to the Colombo Monument and began our hike into Lisbon. We got to see the great views along the water and also the Cristo Rei. We finally made it into Lisbon, had a meal, and got a chance to see the city. I learned a lot about the classic architecture of Lisbon just by walking along the cobblestone streets and looking up at the breathtaking views. All things must come to an end, and when they do, all there is to do is cherish the memories and use what you learned for good. I learned so much informally, formally, and non-formally about the environment, society, and our world in general that I'll be using in my daily life, but also in our environmental society. Opportunities like this do not come all the time, so my philosophy for the trip was carpe diem.